Hey, everybody, Pastor Matt here. I'm so glad we can get together on this Friday. A couple of things I want to just mention to you today. This is going to be a little bit of a stream of consciousness type of podcast today, but I hope that it can still be beneficial to you. One of the things that I want to let you know about is you may already know that I'm the pastor at Arapahoe Road Baptist Church in Centennial, Colorado, South Denver metro area. Well, back in 2020, a number of our members got together and we put together this little devotional called Yet in Thy Dark Streets Shineth, which is an Advent devotion. Advent's coming up. 4 Sundays before Christmas is when the Advent season starts. It's a wonderful time for you to be able to prepare for the Christmas season in a way that we believe is biblical and Christ-like and godly. And those are the folks that contributed to this. I contributed a number of things, a number of devotionals in this particular collection, but we have some people here that just did such a great job of unpacking what the scriptures have to say that are based around the Christmas story. So I hope that you'll be able to do this. If you happen to be in town, you can come by the church and pick up a copy, $7. If you happen to be out of town, then it's $7 plus shipping, which will be around $9. Um, every penny, we are not making a profit on this at all. Every single penny will go to our Lottie Moon Christmas offering for international missions. So if you're interested in this, please let me know. Send me an email, call the church, do whatever you have to do to let us know, and we will make sure that you get a copy of this in your hands. So now we're on this side of the midterm elections. If you happen to be outside of the United States, yes, we vote for president every 4 years, but in between those are our midterm elections. And it's really interesting how those tend to work out is that usually if a Democrat or a Republican is voted in, then the opposite party usually begins to take charge in the midterm elections when it comes to Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate. And every state seems to have its own shading. Some states are red states, Republican. Some states are blue, which lean more toward Democrats. Some are purple, which not too many of them, but there are some that are out there. And it's always interesting just seeing what ends up motivating people to vote in a certain way. I think it's important for us to be able to see these trends, but also to recognize that every election moves our culture in a certain direction. And I think when we look at our culture right now, we as followers of Jesus who see how Christ has ordained things to be, we are recognizing that there is a significant shift. I think if we end up looking at our culture and we end up thinking that our culture is a Christian culture, it's wishful thinking. We want it to be. It may have been a while ago, but it's really not that way now. When you see the reaction of what happened with Roe v. Wade and when it was overturned, and you see the reaction of what people now are saying with the transgender movement and the gender orientation and the gender identity rather and the sexual orientation, and you're seeing how people now are reacting to that. Um, I think we as Christians now, to borrow what Russ Moore once said, that we as Christians now are not in the moral majority anymore, but we're in the missional minority. I hope that that does not bum you out too badly. Why? Because the Christian church has always thrived better when it was under persecution, when it was in a culture where the line of demarcation between citizens of heaven and the citizens of whatever country you're in, Christianity has thrived more. And while you may see that there are fewer people attending church, well, that may be because the peer pressure isn't as great to attend church now. It used to be. There used to be that peer pressure of if you're going to get a good job or you want to meet nice people or you want to be something in the community. Well, church used to be the center, and it's not that way anymore. Now we have to come along and realize just a number of things that I hope will be of help to you. Number one, we have to now trust the word and rely on the Holy Spirit more than we ever have before. We don't have the leverage of the residue of a Judeo Christian ethic. especially, well, I'm here in Colorado, and if you look at how we vote and some of the policies that are on the books, it is way, way, way away from God's design on a number of things. And for some they love that. And for some, it's frustrating. And so that's why there's some now that may have grown up in a particularly conservative area that are not really able to find a home here, politically or otherwise. And they end up moving back to other places that may be more conducive to their philosophy and worldview and ethic. I totally understand that. But even now, if you look at the South is not that way anymore, especially in the cities. We're starting to now see that the entire country, even as we may think the Bible Belt is still, it's still 75, 80, 85% unchurched, whereas places like California, New York, Colorado are now in the mid to high 90s of unchurched. So there's a line of demarcation that's there that for we as Christians, because we are not culturally at the cool kids table anymore, we need to make sure that we recognize our citizenship is in heaven. We have the truth of the scriptures. We have the gospel that has come to rescue us from our sin and from our brokenness. And when we are talking to people, we have to have that confidence and reliance on the Holy Spirit to get us where we need to be. So we have to really be careful of the markers that we used to have in moving things forward. So I posted an article, and I can put it, make sure I'll put it in the notes here, because I want you to make sure that you're looking at what God has for us as Christians when it comes to um, looking at the culture and looking at America right now. We have to make sure that we are Great Commission people, but that we're also missiologists in looking at what is going on in our culture well, so that we are actually ministering to the culture that we're in, not ministering to the culture that we wish we were in, or we think we're in, or used to be in. We have to make sure that the Great Commission is about the mission and about the missiology of what's happening, studying where we are so that we can connect all people to the truth and the hope in Jesus. Love to know what you think. I'd love to know what happened and what you're seeing happen in the particular area that you are living in. But God's called us to go and make disciples. And those disciples are going to be coming from people that may not know much about Jesus, may not care much about Jesus, or the Jesus that they may know is so tied to some political entity or political party that they may make some false associations with us. And we have to make sure that we're moving forward well in what God has called us to do and God has called us to be. If you happen to be looking for a church and you're in the South Denver metro area, come by. We're at arbc.net. And I hope that you'll check us out. We have some sermons that are up. We have some things that are going on that I want to at least let you know about. One is on November the 19th in our area, starting at 8:30. We have a breakfast that starts up, but we're going to be doing something in conjunction and coordination with Grief Share, surviving the holidays after the loss of a loved one. And so we're going to spend the morning getting together and seeing what God has for us and helping us to navigate through the holidays when we have lost someone. So if you're interested, let me know there too. We'll make sure we get you on the list and make sure we have plenty of breakfast for you. But we hope that you'll get fed well by the word and helping you to navigate through these tough times. God bless you all. So glad we could be together. Take care.